Alrighty, guys. So the meta has once again shifted, and we had to do another top 10 list. I just did another top 10 list a week ago, but we got to do it again because the meta has shifted once again. Obviously, here, I have honorable mentions here, but obviously all these characters are not honorable mentions. These characters are going to be put in honorable mentions, some of them, and the rest are going to be in the actual top 10 list. But you'll see what the honorable mentions is at the end of the list. I'm kind of, while doing this list, I'm kind of just figuring out myself, like, what the list actually is. This list is very hard, I'm going to be honest. This list, because this probably is one of the most diverse Part 3 metas I think we've ever had. There's a lot of viable characters we can use right now, so this is going to be very interesting. But coming in at number 10, we are going to have Pan. Honestly, I don't know. Between Pan and Supreme Kai, right? I'm going back and forth. I'm juggling it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put it like this. Just put both in the same. The share spot. Share 10. So basically 10 honorable mentions will either one. I can't pick. But Pan and Supreme Kai, they kind of fulfill the same role. They kind of are like more of an annoying character and a support character. Supreme Kai obviously fulfills the role of more of an annoying character. He does support, but he's more definitely of an annoying character. He's basically always able to stop combos and do very crazy annoying things. And then Pan here is just a crazy support, and her kick can be basically just as annoying as like Supreme Kai's disrupts and stuff. So very strong third options for teams, and they just are fit like a glove in a lot of teams. And coming in at number 9, we have Shallot. All right, I can't deny Shallot did gain a little bit of value, 100%, but he still isn't that good, to be honest. He's still a one-trick pony that really, even like, because the main thing that he gained value here is, of course, he has color advantage against the Boo Bros, and there's a thing in the Boo Bros kit to where they don't do type neutral damage to a regular non-powerful opponent character. So Shallot is not powerful opponent, so he'll take type advantage damage from the Boo Duo Spirit Bomb. So with that into account, of course, he's gonna gain value, but overall, he's just not a good character. And then second of all, a lot of times the Boo Duo still can kill him, believe it or not, because a lot of times he's going to be taking a good amount of damage, and by the time you get the Boo Duo Spirit Bomb going, hopefully the majority of your opponent's team has like at least half health or so. This guy will still die. So, I mean, of course he gains value from that just in case maybe he isn't half health, maybe he's like has full health or something. I don't know, but for the most part, he really just isn't the greatest character, to be honest. But let's move on to number 8, and that number 8 will be Legend Super Vegito. All right, now 8 going up is very tight. 8 to 6. It's gonna be the same thing when we go to 5 to 2. It's so tight that the placements of this character, it's so tight you can literally interchange everybody. But 8 Legend Super, I'm gonna put 8 Legend Super Vegito because his damage is insane. Okay, right now it is ridiculous. You can try it out for yourself. His damage and featured is absolutely ludicrous, but his defenses are not good at all. I mean, I think it's always been kind of a thing with him, sort of. But especially now, his defenses just aren't really that good at all. But I think the only reason why he's here is because there is a better Fusion Warrior as of course, Gogeta right now, and I think if you want to run a Fusion Warrior with the Boo Duo, it'll probably be these guys. But I will say that Vegito definitely has an advantage in terms of having a better. I would say he's probably overall the best partner for the Boo Bros, to be honest. Like, he's the best partner for them, but he just doesn't. I mean, this guy Stardust Fall, and it's just, and these guys do a lot of doubles. It's just the setups just with Vegito aren't as good. I wouldn't say he's like not on par with these guys because he with like these type of characters, because he actually is. It's just the setups what you would run with Vegito just aren't as good as these other setups with like Goku Black, for example, Broly, whatever. So that's the only reason why he's here. But generally speaking, he can compete with literally everything in the game and absolutely decimate everything in the game. So it does not matter. All right, but we have an A2 Roost character in Kid Buu at number 7 here. Wow, they put him in. Them putting him in A tier is actually really like crazy to me, because I think this really means that we could get for the after party like a Legend Kid Buu. They also put Piccolo in A tier. I'm gonna bring up Piccolo real quick. Where is Piccolo? I think Piccolo should be somewhere here. I just think the reason why Piccolo I think he'd be honorable mentions. The reason why Piccolo won't be in the top 10 list is because we have the Boo Duo as blue, we have Rose as blue. So the blue tag, or yeah, the blue color is kind of taken. So he kind of doesn't really have a spot anywhere. So that's where it really doesn't matter. And then hybrids obviously is not as good as he used to be. So he kind of just isn't as usable. But it's just, the thing with Kid Buu is Kid Buu just does like insane damage to everything, and there's only, I mean, Gogeta's very powerful, so if he gets caught with a Stardust Fall, that's going to hurt a lot. And then Gohan and Trunks is still decent, but, or decent, no, they're still very good. When I say decent, they're very good still. But it's just, I think that they kind of take I guess a more of a crazy damage dealing role he has here. I think the stats kind of just carry him, if that's what I'm trying to say. Like, other than that, I feel like there's still better characters than him. Even though he's insanely powerful. Like, he competes just like Vegito. He competes with everything in the game. You can swap him to 6, you swap him to 7 or 8. I don't care. As long as he's like 9 or 10. If he's 9 or 10, then you're kind of tweaking, I think. Because Kid Buu, regardless, he's doing crazy stuff. He has short time AoE green, crazy damage, pretty decent defenses, endurance. He's doing a lot, so he's just very, very good. But I just think that the setup that you put him on, it just isn't the best in the game. I think that's just the way it goes. But coming in at number 6, we actually have Gohan and Trunks. What a drop off, man! What a drop off. They were literally number 1 last listen. It wasn't even close. But now they're 6. Just one release, man. Just one release. But the Hybrids team obviously is not very good. Of course, these guys are not even top 10 right now, in my opinion. They're like honorable mentions. You could make the argument for this guy to be number 10, but this guy, absolutely not. I think he's like at the end of honorable mentions. That featured boost was absolutely carrying the hell out of him. But Gohan and Trunks, for the most part, your damage is still insane. You can still run them with the Budo. They have a specific equipment that actually works very well with Gohan and Trunks, because you basically the only character that fulfills the equipment's needs is Gohan and Trunks. So that's where their value comes in. But realistically, against the Budo, they don't really do much of anything. I'm gonna be honest. Of course, they do stuff on the Gohan side is purple, so they could do stuff. But I mean, they always get one shot by the Spirit Bomb, even without damage stacks, because I mean their defenses aren't good, and it's just hard for them to really do anything to this guy, because their disrupts are super egregious, and their arts cost increase are really egregious as well. So it's kind of hard for them to be doing what they want to do. Like, their arts cost increases by so much, which is why I can even see the argument for them being here. This is why I'm saying that you can interchange all this. I could see the argument for them being at 8, and I wouldn't even be mad at you for that. So number 6, Gohan and Trunks, it is insane. It really is, because the Buu Duo kind of just took away this guy's ability to, I guess, use his revive properly, because I mean, he just takes it away, and then this guy just isn't good anymore. Like, isn't that great anymore without the featured boost. So that's that. This is where it gets tricky. I honestly am gonna. I'm thinking about it right now. 5 through 2, I'm actually gonna say is interchangeable. I'm just gonna put them up in any order. I don't know. I don't know. So we're gonna put Yellow Goku Black first. I guess it doesn't matter. Yellow Goku Black. So this is gonna be a bit of a segment here. Broly. It doesn't matter what order you put them in, bro. Like, generally, Broly, Blue Rose, and then Gogeta. All right. So these 4, I would say, along with the Buu Duo, I'm going to put the Buu Duo up. Of course, I'll talk about them in a second. But these 4 are core on the Buu Duo setups, the main Buu Duo setups. I don't know what team is the best team in the game. I cannot figure it out. I'm honestly going to say there probably is 2 best teams in the game. I think they're equal. The Rose Duo with the Buu Duo, and the Gogeta and Broly Duo with the Buu Duo. I don't know which team is the best. It is very, very difficult for me to figure out. I mean, we talk about this individually. This guy, his damage numbers are through the roof. His disrupt on his unique gauge is ridiculous. And of course, this duo here is absolutely maybe the best duo in the game. I don't know. It could be. It could also be them. I don't know. I'm telling you, it is so hard to figure out what team is the best team in the game. And this is why it's so hard for me to figure out this list. Because Goku Black can deal with everything here, even the Buu Duo, very easily. He can literally one-shot them. If there's like 4, I don't have him 14 stars, so mine can't. But quite literally, he can one-shot them depending on what star level the Buu Duo is at. He just does crazy damage. He has a great endurance, disrupt. He has all the things. He's been in the meta for a while. You already know Yellow Goku Black is insane. Green Broly gains so much value here. So we talk about Green Broly. The Buu Duo is obviously blue. The best counter to them is probably Broly. People say Chalet's maybe. Chalet, I know. I'm sorry, but no, it's not. Green Broly probably is the best, and I think even though he takes type neutral damage from the Spirit Bomb, overall the oppressiveness of this guy, what he's doing with his auto counters and the damage he's doing is just, it's too good to ignore, bro. And I said this already. I made a post. I already made a post, like I don't remember when I made it, but Green Broly, I said Green Broly is going to outlast the entire anniversary, and I still think he is. If you have him high enough stars, if you have him like 10 stars or higher, maybe even 8, but 8 stars or higher, he's going to outlast the entire anniversary, and I don't even think it's like a competition. Gogeta Blue maybe is the closest one. The Buu Duo I don't think is going to last very long, unfortunately, even though they're really good right now. But Green Broly, what overall he's doing is just ridiculous. He's constantly destroying Dragon Balls. His auto counters are super strong. He hits very hard, and he's just annoying. It's just annoying. He seals your rush for like 15 counts, seals your main for 15 counts. He's just gonna be, even like I guess around festival time, he still might even be a great third, just to slap on a team, because he's just gonna be that annoying. Obviously his defenses won't be that good. At that point you'll need like a very high star one to even compete. But regardless, even at a low star, he's still probably annoying, because it's still, his gauge can still build up quickly using greens and stuff. So I mean, Green Broly just gained so much value here. Like I said, I always said, going in Trunks when this meta was going crazy, the Hybrid Duo or Hybrid Saiyan team, I always said, don't get used to this guy being, he's like 7 or 8 or something like that. Don't get used to him being here. He's gonna go way up, I guarantee you, by the next thing. And lo and behold, he literally could be number 2, and I wouldn't even blame me right now. So Green Broly is gaining value like crazy. And then Blue Rose, the setup, obviously I'm talking about with Blue Rose, he also just keeps on gaining value. Like, it's ridiculous. Blue Rose can deal with Green Broly in his own way, because he always goes neutral. Of course, Green Broly definitely does have an advantage over Blue Rose in terms of like one-on-one, because he's gonna have type advantage. I mean, it's an obvious thing. But the setup between these two, it's just ridiculous. And this guy also against this Yellow Rose itself is just insane as well, because you're always drawing blues, so you're able to get rid of his buff removal very quickly. Because one thing this guy has that's super strong is the buff removal, because there still is a lot of endurance everywhere. Like this guy's endurance, this guy's endurance, this guy's endurance, endurance, and so there's a lot of endurance everywhere. So getting rid of that buff removal is important, because this guy always, the one thing that this guy has is he doesn't have buff removal against blues. That's one big flaw in him, I think, because there's a lot of characters that nullify endurance of blues, like Gohan and Trunks, Yellow Goku Black. So characters that nullify endurance on the blue, with this guy next to Broly, it won't happen. Broly won't die. So he's just great at protecting these other characters. So this guy being able to actually get rid of that very quickly is very, very good. Okay, that's already insane. And then of course, this guy's always going neutral, does crazy damage. And in the setup with the Buu Duo, you're able to double Zenkai buff them. The Blue Rose and the Buu Duo, and then Yellow Goku Black, you put like a HP buff Zenkai, and it just worked flawlessly, literally flawlessly, and it's just insane to me. Like they don't die. The team just doesn't die, and it does crazy damage. Blue Rose, it feels like it's been the Rose anniversary. Every single part has had this duo. This team of a duo with either Gogeta on the team or Broly on the team, whatever, and it would be the best team in the game. And right now, it's kind of hard for me to tell what is better between the Gogeta and Broly setup or the Goku Black duo, but it's still in contention for number 1. I'm gonna say I'm gonna put like 1/2 best team in the game. I don't know. I'm gonna make videos on both the teams just because I don't know. I'm gonna put best team in the game asterisk on both the titles. I don't know, because I genuinely have no idea what team is the best, because they're both insane. But the Blue Rose, obviously, of course, at this point you probably already know he's been around the entire anniversary. And then Gogeta Blue, damage. The idea of being super oppressive, of having this guy using the Stardust Fall, maybe potentially sniping out a character like Gohan Trunks. If you're using Gohan Trunks, let's say you get rid of Endurance quickly, and you can snipe out a character, whatever, and you just get the whole damage throughout the entire team. It guarantees that this snipes out everything. This already pretty much guarantees snipe out everything if you use it right. But if there's an instance where you don't even need to use it right, it will still kill everything, right? So it's just the oppressive meter goes so high with this guy and these two together, because then this guy has the auto counters to stop everything. So Gogeta Blue just does a lot. But like I said, I don't even think I'd really even talk about Gogeta Blue, because Gogeta Blue, I feel like majority of people summon for him and probably still trying to summon for him right now if they don't have him, or they're trying to get him higher stars. But for the most part, it's like these four are so powerful, and the teams are debatably number one. I can't decide who is better than who. You can put this guy at 4, or you can put it at 5. You can put him at 3. You can put Broly at 2. You can put Blue Rose at 2, Yellow Rose at 2. It doesn't matter, right? But that's that. And then let's go to number 1. Obviously, you can see the honorable mentions here before we start number 1. Honorable mention, we have Super Saiyan 2 and Blue Gohan, Purple Perfect Cell, Purple Revival Gohan, and then Blue Piccolo. Blue Gohan, feature boost, destroyed. Like, he's just not... He needs a feature boost. This guy, it's just a team that he had isn't as good, and he doesn't really... You could obviously run him with the Buu Duo, but these characters are just better. All 4 of these characters are just much better. And then Piccolo, kind of just... he's very strong. I would say this. He's very insane, actually, in A tier. It's just that you're going to want to run this guy or the Buu Duo as a blue than over Piccolo, to be honest. So, and then Perfect Cell is still just very strong overall, what he's doing, has AoE Yuri and everything. So you know how good he is. But of course, number 1 is the Buu Duo. So the Buu Duo is on every best setup in the game, and their damage output, their disrupt everything. I mean, there's one thing they have that I think is pretty dumb, kind of like the fusing Super Gogeta thing. I've been mentioning it in my videos a few times if you're watching most of my videos. These guys have a disrupt at half health that's just like fusing Super Gogeta. If you didn't know, at half health, their entire fusion gauge will fill up halfway. When they got to half health, that's like their half health disrupt. For them, I think it did it twice, but these guys only 1. But regardless, it's still crazy. It's still insane. I mean, because it fills up their attack gauge by half, which is insane. So it allows, basically, what could happen here, which makes this dumb, is you can like kind of go back and forth for your opponent, and whoever does more damage. So like if you have a higher star, let's say you have like a 14-star Buu Duo going against a 5-star Buu Duo, that 5-star Buu Duo will get the active gauge going faster, because they're going to be taking more damage, and then it doesn't take that much to actually fill up the gauge through offensively. So if you get caught and they fill up your gauge halfway, you'll fill up their gauge halfway, excuse me, and then they'll do maybe like 4 or 5 cards, and they'll have the gauge ready. So it's like it's kind of stupid to me how like they can gain advantage from getting hit. That's already pretty dumb. And second of all, defensively, when they are in the build up Spirit Bomb stage, the active gauge preparation mode stage 1, their defenses are insane, and their disrupt on that unique gauge, that sustained type unique gauge, is insane. Okay, so it removes vanish, it does everything. Basically, if it doesn't let them do anything, it destroys 3 cards. It basically destroys their entire hand. It might as well destroy their entire hand. So it's doing a lot there. It's stupid strong disrupt, and of course the Spirit Bomb itself nukes everything. Like I said, these guys do require skill. I made a video rating them. They do require some skill. But basically the way, like if you guys are complaining, maybe if you don't kill every time with a Spirit Bomb, to make sure you always kill with a Spirit Bomb, make sure you're using at least 3 or 4 cards before the Spirit Bomb goes off with these guys, because they stack 30% damage with per use. So you can use a green and still 30% damage, you can use a blue 30% damage, but make sure to use 3 to 4 cards before doing it within 10 counts. So basically, you can stay in with them, make sure it gets like halfway full, swap out, come back in, use 3 to 4 cards with them, and it'll pretty much just guarantee a kill, right? So just make sure to be doing that, or else you're pretty much, depending on who you're going against, it may not kill them if you don't do that. So just keep that in mind. But the Buu Duo is basically just on every setup that makes it insane. Every setup that of these 4 characters that are like interchangeable for me. As a matter of fact, they're on every setup in this top 10 list. Everything in this entire top 10 list, besides maybe the honorable mentions. And so that's why they're number 1. They just are ridiculously versatile, and And then second of all, they're just insanely powerful individually as well. So yeah, this is my top 10 list. This meta, it actually is very diverse, so there's a lot of very viable characters. In fact, there's some characters I can bring as honorable mentions that are still decent right now. So a lot of valuable characters. You let me know what you guys think of this top 10 list, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man. Peace.